I'm Blue Moon.
And I'm Red Moon.
And you may or may not have heard of this brand called Monster High that released in 2010 and since then has kind of fallen into obscurity. No one really talks about it anymore.
They're kind of like indie and underground.
They're underground.
Like, you kind of, no, I'm just kidding. Okay, so you've definitely heard of Monster High if you clicked on this video. And you may know there's a ton of Monster High merch out there. You can collect, such as t-shirts, clocks, phones, you name it, there's a ton of merch. But in today's video, we're going to be highlighting some of the lesser known and more obscure Monster High merch that's out there.
Specifically, we'll be talking about the obscure, the very rare, the super weird, and the how did anyone get their hands on this merch?
Like, who did they have to kill to get that piece of merch? You know what I'm saying? And also, we'll be highlighting a Monster High Mandela effect we found out, a new prototype people have discovered, and
some very cursed knockoff dolls.
So without further ado,
let's get into it.
Okay, before we start, we just wanted to mention we divided this video into 4 categories, which include obscure objects, rare objects,
prototypes, and knockoffs.
And we're going to be holding Monster High dolls throughout the video to show off and to keep your attention. Look.
Yes. Like, these are our first wave Monster High dolls we got when they came out.
Yeah, we just kind of want to flex on this whole video, so we hope you enjoy staring at us, our dolls,
and the obscure merch, and the dolls we have back here,
and the dolls in the background. So, without further ado again,
let's get into it.
The first object we're going to be talking about in the obscure objects category is the Monster High Mummy Maker. I personally have been in the Monster High community for years, and I have never seen anyone talk about this object until I saw it on my TikTok feed a few weeks ago. This person managed to find this Monster High Mummy Maker, and it's really cute. You can make 5 of the ghouls. Who is it?
You can make Claudine, Draculaura, Ghoulia, Cleo, and Frankie.
Completely out of yarn, which is super cute, but I've literally never seen this before, so I did a lot of online digging, and you can find it listed on websites like Amazon and Walmart, but it's currently unavailable. So then I went to eBay, tried looking it up on eBay, and there's no active listings of it right now. I'm gonna look at solds. I didn't look at solds yet, but I'm gonna put them up on the screen, and I couldn't figure out when this object originally came out. I'm assuming it's around 2015 to 2016, because I found one blog post about it from around that time, and the person seemed like they were blogging about it as if it was new, so I'm assuming it came out in like 2015. But other than that, I don't know anything about this object, and if you have it, you're lucky, because they're really cute, and if you make these and put them next to your dolls, they look really freaking cute.
I just think it's cute because it's called a Mummy Maker and Cleo's in it.
Yeah, like, they should have just, like, it should have only been about Cleo. Like, they should have just only included Cleo, because she's a mummy, and it's a mummy maker. I don't know.
Next up on the list is this Monster High sticker stylus set. Now, there is a lot of Monster High stationery out there, but I included this on this list because I am very biased, and I had this as a kid, and I absolutely fucking loved it. It's basically like a 2000s online dress-up game, but with paper and stickers, and oh my god, I was obsessed. You basically get to dress up your favorite ghoul however you want, and then on the side, write down why you made those fashionable choices. Once again, it's kind of like the Mummy Maker, where nobody really lists these things, and you can find like the old listings on Amazon and Walmart, but of course they're sold out and you can't get them anymore. I would literally die if I could get this like not used, because I would love to play this game again because it was so great. This is also on this list because I feel like these types of dress up like craft games were such a staple of the 2000s, and it's just really a product of its time, and I love it.
So the next object on this list is the Monster High Fantastic Locker, and not the one that comes with the doll. I think there's one out there that comes with a Draculaura, not that one. I'm talking about the one that does not come with the doll, that is more like a locker for yourself. It has a whiteboard, a mirror, some drawers you can put some accessories in, and it comes with like some stickers and name tags you can put on the front of the locker. It is super cute, and from what I gathered, it came out around in 2013, and the reason it made it on this list is because I did not know about this locker until I stumbled upon it, not online, but in a thrift store. I was like, is that a Monster High locker? And I picked it up, and it's really freaking huge. I ended up selling it because I live in a dorm and I didn't have space for it, because it's literally like this big, and it's bulky as hell. You can find it online for pretty cheap right now. I think like $13 to $15 is what it goes for. If you have it complete, it might go for a little more than that. But I just thought it was super cool because Monster High is making reiterations of this locker like every few years. So there's this one, the one that comes with no doll, the one that comes with Draculaura, and now recently they're making the new Monster High Skulltimate Secrets, which are dolls that come inside of lockers with drawers you can store stuff in. I'm pretty sure this is the first Monster High locker they've ever released for you to buy, and I just think that's why It should be on this list.
Next on this list is something that we actually found doing research for this video, and it is Monster High leg warmers for you, not for your dolls. I really want these leg warmers, and I think Y2K girlies are sleeping on them, because look, there's just so many different variations. Like, look at these ones with the skullets. Like, look at the Claudine ones. Oh my god.
Oh my god, look at the
like,
cherry ones. They're supposed to be like
Gulias. Like, oh my god. And then these Laguna ones are super interesting because they have like fins on them. Like, that is so cool. From what I found, at least 3 of them were sold at Party City at some point in time, but I couldn't find that much on the rest of them. Like, they are being sold on eBay right now for like really cheap, so if anyone wants them, like, grab them because they're only like $6, and I'm like really tempted to grab them myself, but I'm not fashionable enough to wear leg warmers yet, at least. But it makes me wonder, why didn't they make Abby leg warmers? Because like, I guess they'd be plain, but like, you can add a skullet to them or something. Like, I need official Abby leg warmers right now because that would be so fucking cute.
Like, okay, Monster High CEO, if you're watching this, we need Abby leg warmers. This is my pitch, okay?
Yeah.
The 5th and final thing on this list is sort of a vague category, which is Monster High bags. There are a ton of Monster High bags out there, and a lot of them are lesser known because they're kind of ugly.
And nobody's looking for them.
Yeah,
like,
nobody's looking for them. We wanted to highlight a few that we just found interesting. I know Monster High is a kid brand and they don't have to be subtle about their merch, but no wonder why no one's looking for these. Look, half of these I have never seen a day in my life. There are a bunch of cute bags out there. For example, we found this one, which I thought was kind of cute. It was super small because it was made for kids. We thrifted this one and I ended up giving it to a friend because I didn't know if it was like official merch or not. It had no tags on it at all, not even on the inside. And I think it was like one of those bags you can like color in the designs yourself. I don't know, it was super small so I could barely use it. Anyways, here's my favorite bag of all time. I love this bag so much. It's supposed to look like a Monster High. Like,
yeah,
you're seeing the resemblance.
Monster High Diary? Are you kidding me? That's so cute.
It is so adorable. I love it. It was a Spirit Halloween exclusive. I'm not sure if it's making a comeback, but I just wanted to show it off because I love it. And if you guys don't know, they're making bags of the Monster High Haunt Couture dolls, like recreating the bags, but for you to wear. They're amazing. There's a Draculaura one out right now and a Frankie one. I need a Claudine
because
Haunt
look at
Couture.
her bag. Oh my god.
When this bag comes out, I'm first in line, just saying.
Now we're moving on to the electronic section of the obscure objects list. I'm just gonna breeze through this one really fast. I'm gonna talk about Monster High lamps because you may have had one as a kid. Of course, there are a bunch of ugly, standard, like, character face lamps that are not subtle at all, but I found these 2 lamps, which I just think are really cute. Like this EVA Skelette lamp, that is adorable, and I want that for my dorm right now. And this fucking sick-ass lava lamp. Like, it's not even lava, it's like electric. Like, that is so cool.
Giving Frankie realness.
Yes,
I love it.
like, I fucking love that lamp. But that's really it. The next thing on this list that I wanted to briefly talk about is this Monster High, like, slide-up phone, calculator, organizer, and alarm clock all in one. They're so small, and I found a bunch of listings of them on eBay for, like, $6 to $24, and I think it's just so obscure and I've never seen them before, and, like, I'm holding Jackson here because he's the target demographic for these. Like, who else would want that? Let's, like, there's just so much going on, you know? Like, what? Why do you need all of that in one thing?
Like, I guess,
don't know.
I mean, maybe it's one of those things that you need in your life, but you don't know it until you have it.
Maybe, but like, I didn't think, oh, I need this now after I saw it. I'm like, who the fuck would need that? He would need it.
He would need it. You
Yeah,
can't tell me.
up.
You can't tell me he wouldn't have
Yeah,
that.
he'd love this shit. He'd carry it around everywhere.
He's a nerd.
Yeah, he's a nerd.
We're making fun of him. We love Jackson, though.
I love Jackson. Okay, anyways.
The 8th item on this list is another one you may have had as a kid, which is the many Monster High Wii games. I'm pretty sure there's 4 of them: Monster High Ghoul Spirit, Monster High 13 Wishes, Monster High New Ghoul at School, and Monster High Skulltimate Roller Maze. That was a lot to remember. I personally never played any of these, but based on what I saw online, in some of them you can like be the new ghoul at school and attend Monster High, and some of them you play as the characters and complete mini games and such. They look super fun. Some of the graphics are very ugly, but some of them are actually not that bad for games that came out in, like, I don't know, 2015. And I always see them in thrift stores, and I'm always tempted to pick them up, but then I have to remind myself I don't have a Wii anymore, so
I mean, they also came on the DS and the PS4.
So I don't have a PS4, but I do have a DS.
Tempting, very tempting.
500 likes and up. Okay, I don't want to be actually,
I would do that, honestly. 500 likes, bro, and I'll buy that on the
And
DS and play it for you.
On the DS, the tiny screen.
Yeah, actually that might not work. That would not be a fun video. Let me zoom into my tiny DS screen so you guys can barely see anything.
I mean, we did that before.
We actually did make a video playing on the DS, so never mind. I'll stick to that. 500 likes and I will buy that and play it for you guys. Anyways, I just wanted to bring that up for nostalgia's sake. Except I never played it. It's for you. If you played the game. Okay, the final object on this list is Monster High minifigures. No, not those. No, not those. Not even those. We're talking about these. Yikes. They're a little uncanny looking. They freak me out.
They kind of give, like, when people, like, go on Disney dark rides and take pictures, like, flash photography pictures of the animatronics.
Yeah, giving, like, you shouldn't be seeing them in that condition, but, like, they were sold like that in boxes. Like, they don't look any better in their boxes. They just look creepy to me, and they don't go for that much online. You can find a few of them, like, listed in box, but the weird thing I want to talk about, which makes them, like, really obscure to me, is there's these ones, like, take in the box art, look at them. And then there's these ones which randomly have like a pumpkin design, and all the listings I found of these don't highlight them as like anything like in particular. There aren't like special edition, pumpkin version. No, it just randomly has a pumpkin design on the box, which makes no sense. At first when I found this picture of Abby in box, and I was like, why is her skelette a pumpkin? She has nothing to do with pumpkins, so I'm guessing it's probably like a special edition of these creepy ass figures. I have no idea where they're sold. I couldn't find any information on when they came out, but they're very uncanny looking, and not a lot of people talk about them because, once again, like the bags, they're ugly. And I see why people don't want them. Okay, next we're moving on to the Monster High Rare Objects category, but we're not done talking about minifigures because while I was looking at these ugly minifigures, I found even uglier ones. Yeah, how you're probably thinking to yourself, how could they get any uglier? Well, they do. Look. That's like a jump scare. Oh my god, they're so scary. Oh, also, trigger warning, Gil. Yeah.
That could be a meme. That's actually funny.
It's so scary. Let me get Gil, actually. Okay, some of these figures aren't that ugly, but the earlier ones are. Like, Gil. Like, the Gil gets me. And look at Cleo and Claudine. Like, no, actually, look at Frankie. Like,
no.
They look so ugly. What I gathered about these figures is they came out around 2014 in a French/Spanish magazine, and they were mail-away figures. So I think you just had to, like, contact the company and be like, yo, I want this, I'll pay for it, and they would mail you the figures, and there's, like, I think around, like, this many of them. There's a lot, and I was flabbergasted, so I found one ugly one. I'm like, wow, it's like the ugliest Frankie figure I've ever seen, and then I looked up the name of the figures, and just not hundreds, but a ton more showed up, and they've made, like, every single character, and I guess they're, like, pretty rare, because to get one of them, you're gonna have to pay, like, $40, which is kind of insane. I'm not paying $40 for this ugly thing.
No.
But
I mean, aren't there some that look better, though?
There are some that look better, like Toralei looks pretty cute, Invisibility, they ate it up on Invisibility, he looks really cute. And oh my god, wait. Look at Deuce. He actually looks really good.
Like, I
and,
want
like,
him. Damn.
Imagine trying to pose this Deuce next to this Cleo. Like, this is one of the only times Deuce, like, out-eats Cleo in any set of anything, because usually they do Deuce so bad. For some reason, he looks so good here and Cleo does not. Some of them look cute, but use this for meme material.
Please.
Please do.
The next two items on this list are items that aren't really supposed to be available to the public, and that is Monster High cardboard store displays. Now, most of the time these cardboard store displays are supposed to be destroyed after they're done, but I've seen videos of people go up to employees kind of when they know they're going to take those store displays down and just ask them, hey, can I take it? And most of the time they say yes. Now, you can find some of these being sold on like eBay or Mercari, but people sell them for like $200. Like, I know you're not supposed to have them, they're kind of like rare, but they're just a piece of cardboard. Like, $200, like, come on now. Like, come it's
on.
a little intense.
Like, I saw this one for $300 on Mercari, and I kind of get that one a little bit more, just because it has an older design on it, but these, like, pre-production ones, like, for $200, like, that's so new, and, like, I get they're hard to find, but $200, like, come on. But there are some cardboard store displays that are actually worth a decent amount of money, and those are these 2012 standees that were exclusive to Toys R Us. Now, to my knowledge, there were only 3 of them that were Claudine, Frankie, and Draculaura.
Could you buy them, or did people have to ask for them?
I think it was the same scenario where you had to ask for them, but, like, since it was around 2012, like, who did that? Like, nobody knew, like, that you could do that, probably, so they're kind of very rare, and a lot of the ones I've seen on eBay, like, actually selling right now are going for, like, $50 to like $100. Like I said, these standees are pretty much impossible to find online most of the time, except 3 months ago I was in a Facebook group and I saw someone post, hey, I'm selling some Monster High standees, except the standees also included characters that weren't Dracula or Claudine and Frankie, the only ones I thought ever existed. They were selling Ghoulia, Abby, I think, and a few others. I don't have picture evidence of this, but I do have evidence of someone on Reddit winning the eBay auction for the Ghoulia one. And that's just like so cool to me. I'd love to have one of those. Like, imagine that in the background. Like that'd be so sick.
I'd love to have Claudine.
Like, if you can't tell, I love Claudine. I'd love to have Claudine. Like, that is so cool. And like the Ghoulia one looks so adorable. Like, that is so cute.
So I'm gonna say the Ghoulia and the Abby are more rare because people didn't know they existed until like this
person. Like, that person. Insane.
Like, that's how rare these are.
Yeah.
Like, there's. I bet. What if there's like a standee of Holt that no one knows exists?
Oh my god. I think there probably is. There has to be. I feel like I've seen. In the back of my mind, I feel like I can picture a whole standee, you know?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Now, I know we talked about bags earlier, but this bag that I'm about to talk about is actually pretty rare. This came out around 2010 and is very hard to find online. This bag came to my attention through watching one of my favorite Monster High YouTubers, Courtly Jester. Go check out their videos. I absolutely love them. They have been hunting for this bag for a while and they actually found it in a lot of stuff and bought it. This bag came out in 2010 and Monster High was just starting around that time, so not a lot of people were buying like the second hand merchandise, you know, besides the main merchandise, which is the dolls. So this is relatively hard to find. In fact, when I was doing my own research for this video, I only found one active listing for this bag right now, which is on Depop for $100. And in that listing, they said they saw someone trying to sell it for $199. But going back to Courtly Jester, in their video, they said that they wouldn't pay over $50 for the bag because it is relatively pretty cheap quality. It's a kid's bag that came out in 2010. It's not that good quality. People are just overpricing it because it's old and harder to find, which is like, they can price it however they want. If you want to buy it for $100, buy it for $100, but I just think it's super cool because, like I said before, I've never seen half of the things on this list before, and I've never seen this bag, and it is really cute. It kind of resembles Frankie's bag. Yeah, a little.
Like, it kind of has, like, the corset kind of style.
That's true.
Actually, Frankie's bag does not look...
No.
I don't know, it's black.
It's the skelet in the middle.
Yeah, it's the skelet in the middle that's black. That reminds me of Frankie's bag. It's super cute, and if you find this bag, make sure you snatch that up because it is hard to find. The next item on this list is actually a Monster High book. It is called the Monster High Character Encyclopedia, and this book can retail nowadays for up to $200, which is a lot to pay for a book. So I asked the Monster High Facebook group I'm in, like, why is this book so damn expensive and why is it so, like, uncommon? And a lot of people were saying, oh, it was just, like, not that many people bought it at the time, and now that Monster High has, like, gained its popularity again, like, prices are just skyrocketing, so that's why the book is, like, $200. Which, like, fair enough, but I feel like that's not the full story. But another person said, oh, I got it when it came out, and they're from the UK, and they got it off of UK Amazon for, like, $9.99. I guess it's sought after, too, because it's in a character encyclopedia, and it includes 180 characters, and it just talks about facts about each character and each doll. And this fact, actually from this book, shout out to Courtly Jester again, is very interesting. So this fact included in the book about Skelita says, hidden honor. Skelita's style is associated with Day of the Dead, a Mexican holiday for remembering loved ones who have died. She even has Katrina written on the back of her skull. Like here. The skull is in honor of the female skeleton skull that often features in the Day of the Dead celebrations, La Calavera Caltrina.
Your pronunciation is
horrible. That's horrible. I took a year of Spanish. But we're gonna test it out because I didn't believe this. I'm like, no way, I literally just washed her hair. There's no way there's a writing on here. But let's fucking see.
Let's see
if I can find it.
I see
K. Oh my god.
I see letters.
Oh my god.
We're discovering something.
Holy fuck.
Wait.
You can kind of see there's a K, an A, and a few other words. It's hard to see because her hair is like rooted into the word. But we'll put a better video of it on screen. But
oh my god, we did that.
So cool.
We've had this doll for years.
Damn.
And that's why people want this damn book.
Yeah, the more you know, because that's really sick.
Before we move on to rare Monster High electronics, I wanted to highlight that there are alternative book covers to the Monster High books you may know and you may love. I used to be obsessed with all these books and I had no idea there were alternative covers for them. Based on my research, I think these covers came out with the first editions of the books, and then they just changed the covers to look like this, the ones that you may know. And I found out about this by watching someone on TikTok just talk about facts that you can find within the books, and they had books with this cover, and I was like, I've literally never seen that before. And I tried to find listings of them while doing research for this video, and it is very hard to find people selling this exact copy of the book. I have no clue why, but it's super cool, and I guess that makes those books rarer, except that I don't think they really go up in price that much. I'm just like, wow, that's really random and really cool. And now I want to briefly present some facts that are found within these Monster High books that I think are really cool because I love the Monster High characters. So first, Halmeen is actually a triplet, which is super cool. What? They've never mentioned that in the show. You can only figure that out through the books. And Jackson likes to draw, and his hands just smell like crayons.
Like canonically?
Hell yeah. Canonly, he smells like crayons.
As an artist and a Jackson lover myself, I love that fact.
Yeah.
And Spectre likes to go to rock concerts.
Which is fitting. Look at her design.
Life-changing information right there.
That is life-changing information, which you can only find in these books that aren't rare, but the facts are rare because they're in the books, and this book cover is rare. So I guess, I don't know, I'm just saying it's rare because it's hard to find online, alright? Next. Moving on to the rare electronics section, I talked about store displays before, and I'm gonna talk about them again because these specific store displays are 10 times more rare and 10 times more expensive than any cardboard store display is. Most of these store displays were made by ImagineWorks, and they displayed between 2010 to 2015. I'm pretty sure there's very little information about these, but they contain at least like 5 or 6 dolls, and they have some sort of electronic component where they either light up or make noise. But similarly to the cardboard cutouts, you're not supposed to have them, and they're even more rare because according to this worth point listing of one of these, there were only 300 or so of them ever made, and they're supposed to be destroyed after they're done being used.
So the only way you can probably get these is if you're a store employee,
Yeah.
because I can't imagine being a customer and walking up to an employee and being like, yo, can I have that display with 5 dolls in it for free?
Like, no, like, I don't think you could have, out of a customer, like, got this. I think it was, you had to be on the inside.
So this is one of those things where you're like, who'd you have to kill to get your hands on this?
Literally, like, who did you literally have to kill to get this? But sometimes, you know, they end up on markets being sold, and I've seen a lot of worth point, like, listings of these, but I ain't making an account to see how much they sold for, because I can only imagine they sold for at least $1,000, because, especially this one I stumbled across, it has, like, the main original ghouls in it, alongside a, like, connecting part that has a book of character descriptions and a mini screen that previews the webisodes. Like, here's a few videos of some of the store displays just so you can see how cool they are.
Thank you. I'm the new girl. No, really, I swear, I'm like only 15 days old. Claudine, pleasure. But I'm Laguna. I love to carve a nice wave in the morning.
Now, all the videos I just showed you are usually uploaded by, like, a dude with 10 subscribers, and it's just, like, a minute crusty video of them clicking the button and playing it, and that's it. And my guess is that these guys that upload these videos were store managers or employees at one point that got a hold of these dolls, and a lot of the times in the comments, people are like, yo, how'd you get this? And they never answer, so, like, you know, it's still a mystery, but that's my guess. I have seen other creators, like, somehow find and buy these store displays, but again, like, you'd have to really be searching for these, like, constantly in order to find one. Oh. Hello? Go back to the video? Oh, okay. So the next rare item on this list is the Monster High eye coffins. But not the ones that come with the dolls, the ones that are supposed to be for you. Now, I don't have one to show you right now, but these come with every doll and are in nearly every webisode, and they made one for you to have. It is very hard to find information on this phone. I don't even know what year it came out, but I did a little research and I found a Reddit post of someone finding their old Monster High phone, so I'm assuming these came out around the same year the dolls came out, and they're very hard to find. There are no active listings for this phone online anywhere that I could find, so I'm not even sure how much it's worth. Basically, the phone, you can text your favorite characters and play some mini games, according to someone on Reddit. You basically can play as the characters and go to classes at Monster High and play some mini games. Like they said, there's a Pac-Man knockoff mini game in the phone, which is kind of fun. And there's like no videos. Actually, I think there is one video of someone using it.
But it's like really crusty, you can't really see the screen.
I'll play.
Because it was like a little kid from 2010 reviewing the phone.
Like there's no other videos besides this video of the phone working, so I'll play a clip of that right here. But that's like all we have with this phone, so if you have this phone, hopefully you remember your password because it might be worth some money, or you can just cherish it because it's super cool and it's very hard to find. The last item, or well, shall I say items on the rare Monster High electronics are these light up pets and skullettes. These came out around 2010, and based on my research, I'm pretty sure they're just like figures of the Monster High pets that just light up. But these are very hard to find, especially in box. In fact, I only found one Reddit post about them of someone talking about like, yo, these are really hard to find. Does anyone else have them? And people were like, wow, I've never seen those before. So that's how kind of old and rare they are. And the hardest to find, according to that person on Reddit, is Neptuna, which I do not have, but I have Laguna's mini pet that it's modeled after, so I thought I'd show that off. And the Skullette one is super hard to find. I think the Skullette is the rarest one, actually, and I think you can hang it on your door handle, which is really cute, and it just lights up and buzzes. But they're super hard to find. In fact, I did not find any active listings for half of them. I think I found an active listing for the dog and the bat. So if you have these, they might be worth some money because they seem to be pretty rare online. Congratulations, you made it halfway through the video, and now we're on to our second to last category, which is prototypes. I'll briefly describe what prototypes are in case you don't know, but basically companies like Monster High will make prototypes of any doll they plan to release to show to companies and manufacturers to say like, hey, you want to help us make this doll? Usually these dolls are very different from the dolls that end up on shelves, and they are pretty crappy quality because they're never meant to be sold, so their bodies and faces are hand painted, their clothes might be made of scrap fabric, and their bodies might be put together through other spare like doll parts. These are not supposed to be available for the general public at all. I really don't know how people get their hands on these, and sometimes these prototypes, even if the dolls never come out, somehow end up on online marketplaces. Like these are pretty famous prototypes on screen right now. Trash and Alley dolls are a doll line that was planned to come out sometime around like the early like 2010s and just like never did, and somehow the prototypes of these dolls that were never in stores ended up on marketplaces, and sometimes this happens with dolls that do end up on marketplaces. So, for example, there is this photo on Walmart of a prototype Jennifer for some reason. So this is what Jennifer actually looks like what she actually is supposed to look like in stores. And if you compare her with this prototype image, the box is kind of weird looking. She has different colored lipstick than the original Jennifer that came out in stores. She's missing a headpiece. Her skirt is a different length, and you can just tell if you pick up this girl and shake her around too much, she is going to fall apart.
Or fall out of the box.
Or fall out of the box. Like, prototypes are so interesting, and there's so many out there, but there's been a recent one that's been discovered that somebody actually owns. I actually discovered this prototype on a Monster High Facebook group, and this person was making a post about this Monster High Jackson Jekyll Save Frankie doll that they bought, I'm pretty sure on Mercari, that they noticed had some defects. And they're posting because they sent an email to Mattel about this doll asking if it was official or if they bought it fake, and Mattel said, oh, it is official, but it looks like it might have been produced like wrong. So they're asking the Facebook group like, hey, like what is with this doll? And a lot of people in the Facebook group actually came to the conclusion that this doll, the doll that they bought, was a prototype of this doll. The original poster said, the box has green lines all over it showing where to fold it, and he doesn't have the scar on his cheek. Here, he doesn't have the scar on his cheek. His paint is also chipping showing yellow underneath, which is a very important factor. Like we mentioned, a lot of prototypes are hand painted, and people were speculating, oh, this doll was hand painted because he was a prototype. This Jackson right here, he's not hand painted. His plastic is actually this color. You cannot scrape this off. And their doll, again, the paint chipping revealed like a yellow, so they might have used like a Heath body and painted it. But at the same time, like I don't know if Heath was out when this doll came out. Which is weirder. So why is his like plastic like yellow underneath? Like there's no other yellow manster besides Heath with that shade. Also, if you look at the photos of the accessories of that prototype doll, they look kind of like shittily made and incomplete. So here's, you know, the picture of the prototypes, and here's my Jackson's glasses. Like there's no chipping at all. Even though I have like used and abused this Jackson's accessories, there is zero chipping. Here is Jackson's sign of Frankie. It does still look a little bit colored in, but that person's photo of their sign, it just looks a little bit more DIY. Like you can still see like the color marks, but on theirs it's a little bit more intense. Also, this doll stand Jackson came with looked very spray painted and very DIY, and to make it even weirder, this Jackson that they bought came in box, so they took him out of the box and he looked like that. Like, he should not have that wear and tear if he was in the box. Like,
Yeah,
that makes no
like,
sense.
0 sense. And a few months after this person made an original post, I saw an update about this prototype Jackson on Instagram. This Instagram user, Monster High Files, posted an update about this prototype Jackson. They theorized that this prototype Jackson is actually a final production / packaging sample of the Save Frankie Jackson. This person was sad because the person who originally got this prototype Jackson didn't know he was a prototype and took him out of the box, which decreased his value, but they did end up selling him on eBay, and he sold for around, I think, $70, and I think the person who bought him is reselling him once again. So
probably
way more, because he is probably worth so much money because not that many prototypes show up.
Especially, like, final prototypes.
Yeah, he was, like, very final. He was in box, and it's so interesting, too, because the box had, like, the lines on it.
Yeah, and if you look at, like, the trash and alley dolls that come up, like, they're very incomplete. They do not have heads. They do not have clothes. So having, like, a fully complete prototype is super rare.
Yeah. Like that Jennifer one we showed you earlier, like, nobody has that. Nobody's gonna find it. It's just gonna be gone forever. It's probably trash. Someone probably threw it away. So it's very interesting that someone found this prototype of this doll.
So now I'm really curious, how did the original seller on Mercari get that doll?
I don't know. I feel like a lot of the times, like, the trash and alley dolls, they end up on, like, wholesale websites because people who worked in the factories get a hold of the dolls and end up selling them secondhand for actually really cheap prices most of the time because they're factory workers and they work overseas, so they can just kind of acquire them cheaply and sell them. But that's my only guess.
Yeah.
It's just, they just kind of come up and pop up randomly, and if you're lucky enough, you might stumble across one.
Okay, next we're going to be talking about that Monster High Mandela effect we mentioned earlier, which also ties into prototypes. If you don't know, most Monster High stock photos use prototype dolls, and the one we're going to be talking about today is this Holt Hyde prototype stock photo image. So you can tell the Holt in the stock photo is a prototype because his face looks kind of hand painted and a little weird to me. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure he's a prototype. But we're bringing him up because in the stock photo he has a pair of glasses next to him on the ground, insinuating he's supposed to come with a pair of glasses, when his final doll does not come with a pair of glasses at all. In fact, I think these are a repainted version of Gloom Beach Jackson's sunglasses that come out, I think, a few years later. I might be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong on that, which is so strange. And I call this a Mandela effect because I found through a Facebook group a lot of people think because of the stock photo the original Holt is supposed to come with glasses. So I saw a post on a Monster High Facebook group I'm a part of someone saying, "Oh my god, I've got my original Holt Hyde, I'm so excited, all I need to complete him is his glasses." And people in the comments were like, "He does not come with glasses," and they were like, "But his stock photo says so," which I guess is a common misconception. This stock photo created a Mandela effect of people thinking he's supposed to come with glasses, and this actually affected my life. Okay, let me explain. So I got this Holt in middle school on eBay, and you know, I love Monster High, but I wasn't making sure he was coming with all his original accessories. I was like, that's a good price for a Holt, let me buy him. I bought him, and when I opened him up, I discovered he came with Deuce's sunglasses, which worked out for me because, you know, I then later got the original Deuce, who didn't come with the sunglasses, so yippee. But that person who sold Holt, sorry dude, but that person who sold Holt thought that he was supposed to come with sunglasses because of his stock photo and threw in a random pair of Monster High sunglasses so they'd be able to get, like, full asking price for him. So because of that Mandela effect, my Deuce is complete. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
It worked out my favor, hell yeah.
Thank you, prototype stock photo Holt Hyde, thank you. The last dolls in this prototype category aren't really prototypes, but I like to classify them as prototypes because they are dolls that were made from parts of other dolls.
And the general public are not supposed to have.
The general public are not supposed to have these. These were meant to be for factory workers. These dolls are anniversary dolls, so on the anniversary of the factory, they give out these custom-made Monster High dolls to all of the factory workers, and sometimes, you know, they appear on second-hand markets because the factory workers, a lot of them, may not want them because they're like, they're just making the dolls. They're not Monster High collectors, so they end up selling them. These are actually a lot easier to find than you might think. A lot of them end up popping up on eBay. In my Google searches, I actually found 2 on eBay right now. There's 3 different versions of these dolls. I think they only did them for 3 years. There is the Circa Magica doll and Candy and this other doll, and I found the Circa Magica one and Candy listed on eBay for $275 right now.
So if you want them, go get
them. They're rare. They're hard to come by, obviously, because they're only made for factory workers overseas. And their faces, again, along with many prototypes, are hand painted, and I just think these dolls are really cool and deserve to spot on the list. Oh, even in this photo, actually, I'm butting in here, and I did a lot of research for this part of the video. This photo of one of the dolls, you can see their paint chipping, similarly to that Jackson prototype, which further,
that's how you know.
it further confirms my suspicion that Jackson is a prototype. Now we're finally on to our last category. Yippee, you made it this far, and get ready for some funny pictures because we're talking about knockoff dolls. So Monster High is obviously a very popular brand, and the more popular your brand is, the more likely there's going to be knockoffs of your products. So there are a ton of Monster High knockoffs out there, and a lot of them can be found on Chinese wholesale websites. So people in Chinese factories will make these dolls and sell them for very cheap to people who want to buy them in bulk and sell them to other people. So there are a ton of these out there. This one right here, Hello Holt? That is not Holt. Like, they changed his whole skin tone. Yeah, that's not Holt, that's Bolt. Okay. His knees aren't bendable, and either are his ankles, which is so strange, and like, they changed his whole skin tone. But they did a pretty good job on his hair.
Yeah, I mean, and the body shape is pretty similar.
Yeah, it is pretty similar. I did some digging on a bunch of these websites, and I found on AliExpress just these, this isn't really a knockoff, it's just a weird photo, but look at this photo. Why did they do that to Draculaura?
Oh god, they
like,
did her so dirty.
they thought, if I put this on Draculaura, this doll will sell.
Like, what?
No. Go on AliExpress and look up Monster High dolls for some of the funniest images you will ever see in your entire life.
Yeah. I also, while doing research on knockoffs, I found this whole old blog from, I think, 2014 of someone just going over a bunch of prototypes that were around at the time in 2014 when the doll brand was, like, at its peak, and I think it's really interesting. Like, I'm scrolling, showing you right now, but some of them are creepy. Like, why did they make them babies? That's weird.
There's baby ones?
Mm-mm.
I have not seen those photos yet. There are a
creepy.
ton of weird prototypes out there.
They're not knockoffs?
Knockoffs, sorry. There are a ton of weird knockoffs out there, and that Holt one specifically made me laugh. And look at this Wedona one.
No, look at this Deuce one.
Yo, the Deuce one. The Deuce one gets me.
And I think there's prototypes of the Werecatch ones too I saw.
Yeah.
Like, look at them.
Look at them right here.
Gorgeous, stunning,
Beautiful. Look at the knockoffs. Yikes. Yikes. Oh, and look at this really rare Monster High doll that showed up in stores.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. Somebody, this isn't really a knockoff, somebody bought a Monster High doll, tried customizing it, decided they didn't want it anymore, put it back in the box and returned it to a store, and the store put it on a shelf, and then someone found it and posted it on TikTok. The custom doesn't look that bad actually, but why would you do that?
Yeah.
But anyways, now we're gonna show you the rarest item of all, which we actually have in our possession.
So this is the rarest piece of Monster High merch I personally own. I present to you circa 2012 my Monster High OC that I drew in the sketchbook. No one else has this. I'm the only person that has this rare piece of merch. As you can see, she is hand painted, well, hand drawn with colored pencil. Her outfit is stitched together using other Monster High outfits, and she's very unoriginal. Okay, this is obviously a joke. So she's daughter of the spirits.
You spelled spirits.
And I spelled spirits wrong, which makes this more rare. Okay, I'm just kidding. Down here, I say she's the cousin of Spectre Vonnegut, which is a fact you cannot find in the books.
No,
which makes this
rare.
10 times rarer.
So rare. This is the second rarest item we have in our Monster High collection. This is a hand-drawn piece of art of a character that is very rare and hard to come by. Her name is Flare Steam, and she actually is the sister of Rebecca Steam. I bet you didn't know that. That's not in any of the books either.
Okay, we're joking. Yeah, we've been Monster High fans for a long time. Yeah. Drop any OC you made down in the comments, and if you found any rare merch, make sure to let us know.
There's also a Monster High OC of myself in here.
Oh my god.
If you made it this far into the video, thank you guys so much for watching. And if you like us, make sure to check out our 2 TikToks, our Instagram, our Redbubble, our Depop, and our Mercari, where we sell cool things, not really prototype Monster High dolls, but other Monster High dolls from time to time. And right now, we're selling a Bratz doll.
Yes.
So go check it out if you want, and make sure to check out our other videos because we're posting all the time.
Yes.
And that's the end of the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching.
And just remember, to dream is to expand your imagination and to create your own reality. Anything's possible and things don't have to make sense. See you in our next video.